Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 2 versus 2 on the 1 versus 1 Colombelles map. I'm going to be playing with Bet, who is using the 91st Luftlander, and I'm going to be using the 17th SS-Panzergrenadier division today. We are playing against Solid Snake and another opponent who are using the 2nd Infantry and 15th Scots respectively. So this is going to definitely be a clash of infantry decks, and that's certainly what it was. I can only describe this game as an absolute slog of infantry on infantry warfare, which was actually incredibly fun to play. So that's why I'm bringing it to you guys. I had a really good time playing this game, and it also allowed me to try out some of the strategy that I want to put into using the 17th SS Panzergrenadiers. So I made the battle group overview for this deck, and you guys can go check that out. But basically I was talking about using smoke with the STOS troop to try and get as close to the enemy as possible to make those units as effective as possible. So that's something that I really wanted to try out, and I have been trying out. I played a game with Rangru previously. We did a really nice 2 versus 2, I think it was, on the 1v1 Colombelles again. And that one worked out okay, but I felt this game showed off the deck better with more sort of combined strategy throughout the entire game. So that's why this replay was the one that I chose for you guys. Now, I've played nearly 100 games on Steel Division now. I've almost played as many games on Steel Division as I have in total on Wargame Red Dragon, and that may come as a surprise to some of you. I actually didn't play Wargame Red Dragon that much, and I really enjoy the game, and I obviously have commentated on a lot of tournaments for Wargame Red Dragon. I absolutely love watching tournaments for Wargame Red Dragon, but I never actually played the game too much personally. Whereas with Steel Division, I really got into this one, which is why I'm just throwing the replays at you guys just so frequently at the moment, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am making the videos. So let's just quickly run through our strategy. Betts was going to go for the factory, and I was going to take both flanks. So I've got a little group of STOS troop with a command infantry for the left side. I've got 2 AT guns for the left as well, alongside a mortar and a machine gun. The machine gun's going to be going for the hangars near the dock, and then I've got the mortar there to provide smoke for the STOS troop as they charge towards the enemy. Over on the right side, I'm covering off with a Stug 3, an AT gun, and I eventually move this STOS troop to the centre road to cover off this tree line. Betts is going to be using a combination of the Ersatztruppen alongside command infantry and off-map artillery to try and make a lot of ground as soon as possible into the factory. So that's pretty much it, and let's just speed it up. We can get this game underway. So yeah, like I said, it was a really fun game to play. It definitely was a slog, but a fun one at that. So this Stug 3, I was a little bit worried about how undefended I left the right side, but I was hopeful that there was going to be some wargame syndrome going on, which is generally the thing that I call not enough recon. The idea of wargame syndrome, for those of you guys who don't know it, is basically it's when you don't use enough recon to know that you can push. So basically in this case on the right side I don't actually have any recon, so I don't know what's here. And because I don't know what here, I assume the worst, and therefore I don't push into it because I'm assuming there's going to be AT guns covering the flanks, there's going to be infantry in all the right places, and therefore you don't push. That's what I was kind of relying on my side, just having it 1 AT gun here, just to provide the presence alongside a Stug 3. If they can see the Stug 3, they know it's relatively well defended. At least that's what I'm hoping. Even though if they killed the Stug 3, I would be in a really bad position on that right flank. But they don't know that, so that's basically what I'm playing off here. And meanwhile, I'm setting up a play on the left side. So here comes the smoke. from my mortar, making a really nice smoke trail for my Stosstroop to run through. Over on the right side, my Stug is being engaged by an AT gun, and I was quite happy that that AT gun did not hit its second shot, or I might have been in a pretty bad position. With my first lot of reinforcements, I am going to bring up some Stosstroop alongside the command infantry to hold that right side. Here we can see the Stosstroop moving up. I actually had to move their own smoke grenades to fill off some of the smoke where there was gaps. The idea of all this is just to be able to get the infantry up into the next tree line here. The only issue is that this mortar has a finite amount of smoke. Only 15 rounds, so using them all up here just to make sure that my Stosstroop move up without being harassed. This has actually meant that my opponent's units have stayed relatively far back on this left side, because I'm assuming that they are seeing this coming thanks to all of the smoke. Over on the far left, well, Solid Snake's M20 is going to actually pin down my Pak 38 with its 50 cal. I'm going to be forced to fall that back. 50 cals now don't do as much damage as they did because they have less accuracy. However, they still have the same suppression effect as they had before. So you can see here these Stosstroop and so on being pinned down. They are being shot in the side because of this M20, but what I'm going to do is use a smoke grenade to cover that off for now. I was going to be coming in with the off-map artillery onto the Honey Stuart and the rifles there. And over on the right, well, Spear Troop, their ride's going to be blown up by an AT gun. That's okay, as long as the recon squad's still alive, I'm perfectly fine with that. Bringing up some recon for the centre as well, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So, Betts has done a fantastic job in the factory at this point. He's managed to get right to the edge with all of these Ersatztruppen. I'm not entirely sure our opponents put enough emphasis on capturing the factory at the start of the game, because it definitely left us with the +1 lead for the majority of the game. Now, if they had contested the factory, it's actually very likely that we would have been in a much worse position, because I've lost quite a lot of ground on the right flank without gaining enough on the left flank due to this attack actually falling a bit flat. Now, the M7DD does take out my recon on the far right, which was unfortunate, and well, with this attack failing, I'm also in a bit of a bad spot on the left side. However, I do have this well defended with the 2 AT guns, the recon there and the MG. This MG can kill off any infantry that comes out into the open, and I'm now bringing up the munitions here to resupply the mortar with more smoke, so that I can use that to cover off my forces. So most of the kills going to Betts at the moment. He's the one actually doing something in this game. This Pak 36 there, trying to kill off this Humber Mark III. And in the tree line, well, here, they can constantly see the Panzergrenadier and the Stosstroop, so that's not very good. Stosstroop just about managing to survive. Pak 36 finally finishes off the Humber. And we're still in a pretty good position. However, the rifles are managing to get pretty close to the edge of the factory. Now, supported by Churchill 5s, that's not actually a surprise, as that troop are not going to be able to really take out infantry in the open if they reveal themselves to the fire support of the 15th Infantry. Because the 15th Infantry can bring out, of course, the AVRE and so on, which would definitely help the opponents in this situation. They're opting to use the Churchill 5s, which is okay, as long as they have the infantry to reveal the targets. My Spear Troop getting hit by the Churchill 5 there, going to be opening up with the mortar to smoke them off and help them get back into cover. This is pretty clutch. The Churchill 5 is aiming. Poof, smoke just before he fires. Troop, stay alive. So I'm trying to get my Pak 38 into a line of sight of the Churchill there. But what I decided to do instead is allow my Pak 38s to move further up and just smoke the Churchill 5, and now I'm going to try and charge it with the Stoßtrupp. Now this was pretty interesting. I've never really seen this before. I didn't realise that Panzerfausts apparently have a minimum range. But my Stoßtrupp fellow here, I think it was mainly because he's a one-man squad. But he's going to be trying to approach this Churchill. We're sneaking through the smoke. What's he going to do? He's going to continuously throw grenades at the Churchill 5. I couldn't turn off this effect, so he's just going to continuously throw them. Doesn't use his Panzerfaust. I'm trying my best to get him on target here. I thought it was a minimum range thing that was causing this, but I'm pretty sure that it turned out to just be a fact that he's the last man standing, and therefore he's using grenades instead of the Panzerfaust, and I can't turn off the use of grenades. So, yeah. He ends up going down to the 50 cal machine gun, because he decided to be a bit of an idiot. And the Churchill 5 remains alive. Either way, AT gun on AT gun action here, nothing really happening. It's the MG42 that's doing the job onto the 6-pounder, and my Panzergrenadier and Panzergrenadier squad are trying to get into this tree line. Pak 38 is going to be trying to open up onto enemy units. Honey Stuart up here going to be engaged on by the Pak 36 and the Pak 38. Using my mortar to take out the enemy recon on the left side. A bit of a push coming in as well to the centre now. Managed to get rid of that AT gun on the left finally, and now I'm engaging the Ranger machine gun. We do lose our AT gun there. Both of our AT guns have gone down due to this Churchill 5. That was doing a really good job actually, and also does a good job onto the MG42 at this point. In the factory, what's happening though is Vets can't really afford to sit on the edge of the town, because what I was saying before, if the opponents use rifles to reveal the position of the Einsatztruppen, then the fire support from the 15th Infantry should be more than enough to break through in the factory, and that's exactly what is happening. So I'm managing to get some work done on the right side. I've got a mortar to support these Stoßtrupp and try and maybe do another smoke push on that side. Didn't really work out on the left side, but what I'm going to do over here is just mortar this machine gun as best I can to try and get the infantry and the Panzergrens into that tree line. The mortar's done its job really. Betts is bringing in some off-map artillery onto the Churchill and the other units in that forest. And he's now just trying to do his best to hold the factory against the approaching rifles. We just moved into phase B, and this is actually pretty good for us. We do need our reinforcements as soon as possible. I'm going to be bringing in 2 of these SPW-233s. Now, I've actually started to really like these vehicles. They have the very high optics, as you can see, and they also have 9HE, which makes them very useful for spotting AT guns and taking them out, because they can spot them at very long range due to the very high optics, and then the 9HE is actually very good against, the AT squad. What I'm going to try and do on this right side is push forwards with the recon vehicles and the Stug at the same time. Now, just to top this off, it would have been nice to have a command unit that was nearer. At the moment, the Panzergrens aren't really in the right place. I probably should have had them in the tree line with the Stoßtrupp, because then when I move forwards to Stug 3, it would have been 3 stars instead of 2. I do also have multiple command vehicles on my deck as well, so I'm not entirely sure why I wasn't using those either. That's definitely something I could improve on in the future. So the Stug 3 is still going to hit its first shot onto the M1 gun, and you can see the second shot from the SPW233 does pin that down, and what I'm going to do is blow that up. So that gets rid of the pesky AT gun that was a threat to my Stug 3, and that allows me to now move forwards with the SOS troop and the recon vehicles. Thunderbolt does come in for a strafing run onto the SOS troop, and that's going to allow the Ranger support to pin those down, but the Ranger support obviously going to get hit by my Stug now. Betts is going to lose his plane, which is a bit unfortunate. That Thunderbolt really doing a nice job there with our aircraft. I brought up some reinforcements to the centre for Betts, but I'm focusing very much at the moment on this right side. We get rid of the Ranger support squad. I support a recon squad over on the right side. We're going to be hitting that with the 233s. So we're just going to finally take out the recon squad there. And now what I'm doing is moving over the Stug 3 to hopefully deal with the M4A1 in the centre, because Betts was having a little bit of trouble dealing with it. So my Stug's perfect for taking that out. 2 stars, pretty good veterancy, and boom, 1 shot, 1 kill, M4A1 goes down. And that's basically veterancy for you. The M4A1 couldn't do the job where the Stug in 1 shot could. We also managed to get rid of the Stuart here. I think that was thanks to the Fallschirmjäger's Panzerfaust, so that was good. And now I've also brought up some AT guns for the centre of the map. Finally unload my troops, after Betts reminds me. Completely forgot that I'd reinforced them in the centre, as I was focusing so heavily on pushing forwards on the right here, and you can see that I'm now chasing down this M20 just to get that out of the way and allow my STOS troop to move forwards through the fields without being harassed. Betts is going to be coming in with his rocket plane here. They do have 2 Bofors on the right, however, and that is going to force back the ME-109 before it can do anything. I'm going to be bringing in a rather powerful combination of troops now. Got a command SPW-232, the SPW-223, and a Grill to support the centre push. My Panzergrenadiers have got into really good positions here to allow them to use the 2 MG42s that they have onto the enemy. A STOS troop are just waiting to make a push into these rifles, and if the STOS troop can get close, then rifles don't really stand a chance. So that's what I'm going to try and do in the factory. While on the right side, we're going to be continuing to take out infantry and advance. Pack 40s are gaining the attention of the enemy air force, which is perfectly fine by me. Bomb does land onto our infantry as I'm trying to make a small push here, and they are going to bring in the Spitfire Mark 9 to bomb the Fallschirmjäger in the factory as well. So Thunderbolt going to be coming down and strafing the SOS troop once again. Wasn't having too much fun dealing with all of this air force, but either way, just getting my units into position now. And I've used my STOS troop here to make this smoke. Obviously I don't want to push onto this target at the moment due to the off-map artillery. I'm just trying to use my units on this right side to pick off the enemy infantry. The Stug 3 going to be getting direct hits onto the Ranger supports there. And now I've brought in a Focke-Wulf 190. I'm just showing that off to the enemy, just to let them know that I do actually have some air superiority now. On this far left side, my Panzergrenadier is finally being taken out by the Rifles Leader and Rifles combo. So they're going to get rid of those. My Panzergrenadiers were actually sat there for quite a while, gaining us some much needed territory. But here comes Betz's artillery, and it really did a fantastic job of levelling these buildings, and you can see those buildings falling apart, leaving the rifles in the open in front of the 232s and my STOS troop. Going to move forward. The STOS troop make one rifle surrender, and the other rifle squad is going to be soon to follow or die. And now Betz is also moving forwards these Fallschirmjägers to hopefully take out this Churchill 5. So he's going to get the Panzerfaust on target there. The Fallschirmjägers here are actually out of ammunition entirely. He was literally just doing that to get the Panzerfaust on target. Over on this right side, I've actually been smoking this M4A1 as it's been advancing, so it can't actually fire onto anything. That was literally to bait it into line of sight of this Pak 38. Pak 38 doesn't have any veterancy, so it actually misses the first shot, hoping the second shot's going to be on target, and boom, bailed out. That was actually pretty lucky. But either way, I'm going to be able to deal with that Sherman now very nicely. We're now at 57% victory or territory. Just trying to make as much ground as we can now. Got some infantry moving across in the open, trying to take this barracks complex. Over on the left side, kind of given up on that. Just brought up a Pak 43 to cover it off. Got some recon there and the mortar if I need it. Also got the little combination of units in the factory as well. But just focusing on this at the moment, getting my STOS troop up into the face of my opponent. They're using the smoke grenade, getting forwards. I then use another smoke grenade to cover off the Panzergrenadiers there. My STOS troop on the right get taken out by the M20, which was annoying. But it was good of him to identify that I didn't have anything here really to stop him from moving that M20 forwards and gaining himself some ground. So good job from our opponents for doing that. STOS troop going to be engaging the rifles. Fortunately, with rifles and an MG on target, both the Panzergrenadiers and the STOS troop are not going to last very long. Dug 3 did take out an M10, which was great. Now I'm going to be bringing in a combo of units, the Focke-Wulf 190, the ME-109 and the Ju-87. The Ju-87 is going to come in onto the M20. I'm going to take that out and I'm going to then retreat both of those aircraft. However, Thunderbolt's going to come in hard onto my Ju-87. Ju-87 not going to get away from that one. Betz managed to shoot down one of the Spitfire bombers with his ME-109, and now we're back onto the enemy Thunderbolt. And well, because the Thunderbolt's actually relatively quick, we're not going to get back onto it. I'm just going to go for a bit of a strafing run onto the Bofors, just to keep it stunned. And then I'm going to have to get my plane out of there. This M5 gun finally finishes off my Stug. The Stug couldn't really get out of range quick enough after I spotted that AT gun. But what I'm going to do is respond with a bombing strike from the Ju-88. They're going to blow that up, and that should make life a little bit easier. Pak 43 going to be opening up onto the Ranger machine gun squad on the left side, and now there's two lightnings in the middle, and since my Focke-Wulf is already in the sky, I'm going to latch onto those straight away. Down goes one lightning. I'm going to go straight onto the second, and down that goes two. But these P-38 lightnings, you've got to be extremely careful with them. In that case, definitely not worth the attack, because he came in with those rocket strikes, and those rocket strikes aren't actually that strong. And then he lets them get shot down by the Focke-Wulf 190 that was already in the sky. And because the lightnings don't have much health, they're definitely not going to get away. It's a bit of a mistake on our enemy's part, but either way, now moving across my units from the factory to the left to support Betts in this push for the small town area on the far left. Using my mortars to pin down these rifles, and I'm also actually just trying to get these units into line of sight of that so that they can help out. Pack 43 is going to finish off the GMC HMG, so that works out. And now Betts is going to be engaging the Stuart Recce with the Panzer 35R and the Stug 3. You can see the 223 getting onto target here of one of the rifles. And now I've got the grill coming up. And this thing has 27 HE. Once that gets on target, enemy not going to be lasting too long. Bombing strike from the P-38 going to be coming in onto one of Betts' infantry squads. And that was pretty damn unfortunate, because that's what was spotting the enemy rifles as they moved across the open. Now the reason I can still see the other rifle squad is thanks to the Speertrupp, as you can see. I'm managing to get the grill onto target now as well. Over on the right side, things are pretty calm. Managed to get up to this tree line now, which was really helpful. Really secured our lead, gave us the +2 that we needed in order to finish out the game. We're all helping out finish off the job, and my mortars are still going onto those units as well. Betts has brought up his Flak 36, that takes out an M10 for him, and another Flak 36 or a Flak 88 moving up the centre as well. Stormtroop are going to get hit and taken out by the 50 cal. Going to use the smoke grenades of the Stormtroop to just run straight on top of it. That 50 cal squad will not get away with that. Full 5-man Stormtroop squad will definitely be able to do the damage. Now as the Stormtroop moved forwards, I should have been moving forwards my Panzergrenadier as well. That was a big mistake on my part, leaving this Panzergrenadier behind. Probably should have also been moving forwards my mortar so that I remembered to use that as well. Now since the Flak 88s are on the field, you can see the Thunderbolts are taking shots. And from now on, all air engagements should, in theory, go in our favour thanks to our heavy AA defence. Over on the left side of things, I'm holding the map just below 50%. Over on the right side, however, I've actually made quite a lot of ground now. My Stug 4 is in position on this right side, just slowly moving that forwards. And I've got my Stormtroop waiting to engage the rifle squads that I know are coming my way. I'll use the smoke there just to cover off the Stormtroop best I can. Allows them to dodge around in the thin tree line. But what's going to happen here is I'm going to try and use both Stormtroop squads to engage the rifles at the same time. Hopefully, and in theory, the idea is that we should win. And you can see, in this case, the power of Stormtroop as they rip to shreds that 12-man rifle squad with only 4 men remaining. So when there's only, 4 men in 2 squads, they're using these PPSHs which do 12 HE. And that can be really, really strong against enemy infantry, of course. And that's what you saw there. Now I'm just going to try and keep these guys in a decent position so they don't get spotted by the rifles from range, and then they should be able to win that engagement. Betts' Flak 88 is moving forwards and is finding targets onto enemy infantry and armour. I'm now moving up with another Stug 4 in the centre of the map, supported by the 232 and the 223 and the Grill. Now we're just slowly pushing onwards. Sherman 2 is engaging Betts' Black Pack 38. Pack 38 is going to win out in the end. It is a 2-star Pack 38. My 3-star Stug 4 is going to be engaging the Challenger, and the second shot on target is actually going to make that fall back. However, with the tracks broken, can't go anywhere, and I'm going to get the kill. So Challenger kill there was really, really nice. And the extra shots onto the infantry there worked out nicely as well. The 2 ME-109s from Betts definitely did a decent job onto the enemy infantry in the open there, and I'm going to be able to actually shoot down the Thunderbolt without Betts losing an ME-109. So that worked out as well. Ju-88 is just going to come in with the bombing strike onto the tank on the right. Going to force that to fall back and stop it attacking us. Managed to clean up a bazooka squad on the left, and I'm also just going to shoot down a Spitfire there as well. I believe that was one of my Wolf 190s right over their air spawn. Over on this right side, P-38 Lightning again. Going to be dropping bombs onto the Stug 4. Definitely not worth it, again, when fighters are in the sky, so something I would suggest you guys avoid. The enemy already has fighters in the air, and you know they have good anti-air like Flak 88s, and just don't try and use bombers or fighters or anything like that, because they will die. Just inevitable. So we're starting to make some ground outside of the factory now. Definitely secured the factory entirely, which is exactly what we wanted to do. And now with a minute and a half left on the clock, I don't really need to go anywhere on the right side, so not really moving forwards, just leaving my 233 here in case anything tries to push up. And just trying to make some ground on the left. Now I do actually lose my Stug there. So that was unfortunate. This 17-pounder doing work. You see the 17-pounder, 2 stars there, also going to take out a 232. The Grill, well, that's going to get on target to the Stuart Draki there. We're going to be engaging that. Over on the right side, my Stug 4's going to be engaging the M4A1 Rhino. Now in every case, the Stug 4 should win that engagement at max range. So just continuing to hit that Rhino. It's actually forced to fall back now. My Stosstroop standing their ground against the rifles. The Rhino finally falls. Spitfire is going to be hit pretty hard, but not go down just yet. However, Betts' G6R6s are going to get on target. And over on this left side, you can see that I did manage to dispatch of that AT gun eventually, and the 223 alongside the Grill are managing to move forwards. However, after 30 minutes and 8 seconds, myself and Betts win the game with the Conquest victory. So if we jump into the team scores, we can see that myself and Betts both did very well in this one. Myself with a 2-to-1 kill death, and Betts with pretty much a 3-to-1 kill death. So really, really good job by him to push the factory. And our teammates, well, our opponents definitely put up a good fight on that map. Now it seemed that we just had the initiative from the start, and with them having to attack into the factory because they lost it so early, definitely made it a lot harder for them to get some decent kills. But Solid Snake definitely putting up a good fight. If we have a look at the kills, we can see that these SPW-233s did a good job against the AT gun there, took out a Bofors, a couple of infantry squads. This Stug 3 at the start managed to take out a Command Stuart, it took out the M10, it took out the M4A1. 232 managed to help in the factory, killing off some of the infantry squads, but the majority of my kills came from this Focke-Wulf 190 with 5 air kills. Multiple P-38 Lightnings going down, Thunderbolt there, and the Spitfire. So that's pretty much the majority of my kills, alongside the Stug 4s, which got the Rhino there and the Challenger, again adding to the kill counts. So, really nice game. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It was good to see just like a good infantry on infantry slogfest in the factory. Not often you get to play infantry on that map, so yeah, it was really nice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.